The Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group is holding its celebrations, 15 years celebrations here at Jindera Museum. And what great surrounds these are. Jindera Museum, just located 15 minutes from Albury. And it's a beautiful day that we're celebrating also 150 years of a European settlement in the region, and that great German heritage that exists here. But today, mostly today is about the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group and the work that they've done over the 15 years. I'm here with Tangasha Malilo, who is a leader of the Congolese community in Albury Wodonga. Tang, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, John.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey from the Congo through Kenya to Australia?
Yes, please, I will. If I can remember, I can't talk all about it, but because there is some emotional story which I can't tell, but in brief, I will.
What year did you come out here?
2009. Yeah. 2009 through Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group. I applied the application, which it took me like a year to be granted a visa. And then after that, we did the medical in Kenya when I was in refugee camp.
Yeah, what was that called? That's
Kakuma refugee
Kakuma.
camp. Kakuma refugee camp.
Yeah.
But before I arrived in Kenya to the refugee camp, there was we fled the country because of the war, which I was at school, and the rebel, they attacked our school, which it was very hard because I was in boarding school.
Yeah.
Couldn't see even my family, and then we escaped.
Yeah. How many years in Kakuma?
I stayed there for 7 years before I came to Australia.
Yeah. Edwina Hayes is here at Jindera with us today, and Edwina is Director of Regional Development Australia, Murray Region. Edwina, thanks for joining us, and tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
Well, thank you, John. So as the Director of Regional Development in Development Australia Murray, the main role that we have is connecting the community's needs with the three levels of government. So we're funded by the Federal Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Cities and Regional Development. Isn't that a mouthful? So the department funds us to be aware of and be across all the community's needs that are in relation to economic and social environmental development.
Justin Clancy, newish member for Albury, state member for Albury, joins us here at Jindera as well. Justin, great to have you on board.
John, pleasure.
Now, tell us a little bit about your involvement, firstly today, with the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group and with the local area, because as state member, Greg Applin very kindly handed you also the mantle of patron of the Jindera Museum.
What a beautiful job to be called to do, to be patron here and of the museum. And the beautiful thing about it, John, and wonderful time too in the celebration for the life of Jindera Pioneer Museum, because it's 150 years.
Yeah.
And I think this is the beautiful thing then, John, with celebrating 150 years of Jindera and 15 years of the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group, because what it celebrates is this beautiful parallel, this beautiful symmetry between early German heritage. My heritage is Irish, so similar story over nearly 150 years of being in this region, and celebration of 15 years of our most recent Australians and our refugees who come to this land.
Yeah, so now this area is developing a history of German, Irish, Kenyan, Congolese, Malawian settlement.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Bhutanese, Sudanese,
Yes.
and in doing so, celebrating the rich heritage, the rich culture that they bring with them as they forge new lives in the journey ahead here in Australia.
I've got a volunteer from the group with me now, Colin Alcock. Great to see you, Colin. And tell us a little bit about the day.
Oh, well, today we've got a lot of the new settlers coming along, as well as volunteers and members of the local community, to celebrate the 150 years and the 15 years of these two voluntary organisations. Yeah, so we've got we've got a couple of bands playing, Africans choir and African dancing, and there's a young lady from the Congo, Faida, who was a national performer in the Congo, in Kenya, actually, sang in front of the president over there, and she's going to perform as well.
Yes, it had in the notes. She's a Kenyan singer who is well known for her voice.
That will be right. Well, you'll find that out too.
I thought that was odd.
She's also a bit of a character too.
The importance of the Sanctuary Group can't be underestimated. The 15 years of really getting people connected with the community in very real and positive and practical ways.
That's absolutely it, John. It's that positive, constructive, and recognising that, like those that have gone before, German, Irish heritage, there's been prejudices along the way. There have been roadblocks faced by establishment, and it's reaching out and putting an arm around them, I suppose, this wrapping around of care and support, because we want to, if we want our people to move forward together, then we need to break down barriers, and those barriers can even be the practical ones: literacy, driving, being able to learn how to drive, settling in, finding where to be able to reach out to various forms of help, and that's what the refugee group does.
Yeah. I guess people's involvement, you could become involved with Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group on any level, couldn't you?
That's it. And the beautiful thing is talking to some of the volunteers like Colin today, saying it's just as meaningful for them. They're actually getting something out of the good work that they are doing.
Yeah, fantastic. How do you get involved? How do you get yourself and government involved in projects such as this?
I think that for me, John, and the thing that's really important for me is local solutions to our problems. And I'm a big believer in this beautiful tapestry of local community groups that are all reaching out and working together forward. And as a government, if we can help facilitate that, if we can help allow them to proceed on their journey, I think that's a really important aspect.
Sanctuary is involved in a fair bit of education and skills training as well.
Absolutely, and that's really where we partner, is in facilitating some of their access to funding and opportunities, and with other groups. So we work with a lot of small communities about what their aspirations are in those areas. We work with Training New South Wales and Department of Jobs and small and family businesses and a whole range of stakeholders in that space. So although what we perceive is that in order for our communities to thrive and grow, that we need people to have higher aspirations about inclusive communities. We also need employers to be actively engaging with potential employees, and we also need communities that are ready and willing and able. So we need housing, transport, infrastructure, a whole lot of smaller factors that our local government and state government friends help us with to create communities that are ready to thrive.
So how did you get in touch with Murray Valley Sanctuary Group, or how did they get in touch with you?
Through a friend of mine in Kenya. He showed me the email address, and then he said, if you can apply, you can try your best, and then if they say yes, you get a good life in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I tried through Murray Valley Sanctuary, which was leading by Sue Alam.
Yes.
Yeah, not the one here in Wodonga.
Yes.
But the one in Coast Saba.
Yeah, in Coffs Harbour?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And then after that, when I did my application, it took me 1 year to get the result. After 1 year, they say, we are ready to help you. I get an email from Sue Alam, say we are ready to help you. I say, okay, I will try this. I put my application. When we finish everything medical, I get another email that said, nah, because of the rain in Australia, in Coast Saba, well, you are not going to Coast Saba, you are going to Aubrey, Wodonga. And then I say, okay, that's good. And then they connect me with Frank Johnson.
Yes.
Which was one of the Murray Valley Sanctuary Group
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did the group get set up in the first place, and what's some of the work that they do with people?
Look, I'm not too good on the history, although we were connected with another sanctuary refugee group. I think it was around Coffs Harbour. But the group's been going for 15 years and has grown. And, we now have around 450 new settlers in Albury-Wodonga area. And it's really critical that the new settlers are able to quickly understand how things work in Australia. Things like shopping and banking and doctors and chemists and hospitals and supermarkets and understand how all these things work so they can access them and start quickly to feel at home. They need also to bring their English up to par, and many of them already speak good English, and others are on a learning curve with their English. So the role there is so they integrate and can bring all the skills and insights and experience that they have into our community and share those things with us.
I love the fact that it's so hands-on, and that you're helping with everything from Medicare to English classes and such. What sort of nationalities are the new settlers?
Well, we have, I think the bulk would be from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and then we have Sudanese, and there are also Bhutanese who are here. That's quite a large Bhutanese community here as well.
Do you find that they are a little bit reticent at first to become involved, or do they jump in seeing this as a great facility for them?
Oh, what I've found is that they respond really openly to initiatives from Australians to support them and give them some guidance and help them integrate into the community. And we have a lot of fun. I've noted about the Africans that they really like a laugh, and we have a good time when we're together.
Just going back, I'm really interested in people's backgrounds. You mentioned Irish ancestry.
That's right. So from County Barna in Tipperary and out here, and I think it was about the 1860s, 1870s. And I suppose that's the other thing, John, is people, we've got our rich culture of our First Nations, and then everyone else has come since then and made a journey for a variety of reasons. That could be for seeking new opportunity, but a lot probably felt impelled or forced to flee political, religious oppression and turmoil in their homeland. So my family came out firstly, as I said, mid-late 19th century. We had the 1850s, the potato famine, so again, the parallels are there, the reasons why people have come to this country.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier that you were reflecting on the way out here. We had a little bit of rain, and you were reflecting on the way out here on the nature of home and location and...
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the what really struck me is, oh gosh, it's raining. Is anyone going to turn out today for Sanctuary? Because we know that rain can ruin a public outdoor event. But it's a beautiful day. We've got the sun shining. I have a farming background, as do many of our it drives. It's our foundational economy is farming. And that smell, I just suddenly, remembered that smell of rain on dry earth. And, it takes me back to my childhood.
What's the word for that?
The word for that is called petrichor.
I love that word.
It's the best word. Petrichor. It's a very special word because it's part of the definition of petrichor is that universally all human beings feel a positive sense of well-being and belonging. So it really grounds humans when we smell that smell. And I think people who've experienced it, sometimes you can smell it with rain on cement as well. So our city friends do experience that extraordinary feeling that we get when we have that smell. And what I really reflected on is that petrichor is a smell that is universal, that binds all humans all around the earth, and that Sanctuary is representing that smell here. They're representing creating a sense of positivity and belonging and a sense of well-being in this community, and that's something they can be very proud of.
Hey, just quickly, and just completely off on a tangent there, that reminded me, what's your take on the Brexit thing?
Wow, If you thought politics here in Australia was mucked up, then you only need to look across to the UK, don't
It's
you?
so frustrating listening to the news every day. It's, something else has fallen off.
John, what we were talking about before is the whole concept of the emerging problem, and who would have foresawn 15 years ago that the UK would be so troubled by leaving the EU. It wouldn't have even been on the horizon there in that regard. And one of the challenges of politics is scanning the horizon and looking ahead and seeing what are the issues that we need to be facing, maybe not now, but into the future.
Yeah. Very, very interesting times. I know we've got some challenges with drought and all sorts of things here at the moment, but when you come to days like this, it's kind of like it's uplifting, and it gives your heart a bit of a flight to see lovely people around and celebrating something that's genuinely, ground-based, grassroots. It's just a great feeling.
And John, that is the absolute privilege that being the local member is that you get to see so many beautiful people doing beautiful things in our community.
Yeah. You've got you got a good gig. What was your feeling on arrival? Did you feel nervous or
Yeah.
excited or?
Excited and nervous together because you are in the new country. You don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's only me and my cousin, but surprisingly, we found the people very welcoming, and we feel comfortable to be in Wodonga.
That's great. What sort of things, at first, did the Murray Valley Sanctuary Group help you with?
The first thing, they tried to find a house for us. After the house, Murray Valley worked with the government. They help us with chair, fridge, all things from the house. Took us to the Centrelink and Medicare, and from there we start the life in Australia.
Colin, can anyone become involved with the group?
Yes, indeed. Yes, and we have a lot of people who have a range of skills and different opportunities to engage in the work.
How do they first come to join our area here?
The new settlers?
Yes.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, because they've got connections back into the camps in Kenya and the Congo and Sudan, then there's a lot of interest in coming to Wodonga, where they already have friends and family.
You've put in an application for your wife's family to come out. That's the next one, is that right?
Before that, I went to Africa and married my wife. And after my wife, I applied for the visa for my wife. My wife, she came here. Now she's 5 years in Australia. And then after that, we said, because of busy day, busy life, we don't have anyone to help us to take care of the kids, which we decided, me and my wife, if your family come here, maybe we'll get someone to help us. If we need to go to work, we can drop the kids there and stay for a few hours.
Yeah.
We can swap like that. So we apply for my wife family, and now they've been granted a visa.
Yeah.
And soon they will be here.
Cool, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's fabulous news.
Thank you.
Do you get to work much with the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group helping other applicants?
Yeah. Some we try, me and Sandra, one, and we didn't succeed. So, there are many people over there want to come here.
Yes.
But the chance are few.
Yes.
And it depends by the personal lucky, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love the fact that you mentioned earlier too that Greg Applin, the only thing he left you in his office was a picture of the XPT circa 1991. Good on you.
We even thought that it had a bit more heritage value to that, and thought it was even more special. And then Ross Jackson, we posted it online, and Ross Jackson sent a post saying, "That's not early, that's 1990." So even then it lost a little bit of prestige.
It didn't have a bit of glamour to it then. Oh, good on you. Justin, thanks for being with us. Have a great day.
Pleasure. Thanks, John. Cheers.
Are you involved in any of the cultural events like dancing or singing today?
No, I'm the leader of Congolese community,
Yes.
which I just come to support
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the artists which
Yeah.
are gonna dance or
Yeah. Well, we've got some great singers and dancers.
yeah.
Hopefully, Seraphin might get up and have a
That would be good.
have a rap and a bit of hip hop from him. Thanks so much for joining
Thank
us.
you very much.
Keep up the great work, and I wish you all the success in relocating your next part of the family from Africa.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
They've done a remarkable job over 15 years, and it's certainly one of the great success stories in making our refugee and migrant population feel a part of our community.
They have. I believe that they've welcomed over 150
Yes.
people to our community over the 15 years.
Yeah.
And they've had on average around about 80 members per year for that time. So they've really brought that core leadership together. And I think they've actually quite provocatively led the community to understand and to participate in welcoming newcomers to the region.
What's the feeling it gives you working with these folk, these new settlers?
Oh, look, it's a win-win, really. I enjoy and need to be doing something. I'm retired now. I had a full employment life, and this is an opportunity for me to get engaged in what I see as positive work in the community. So that's a big payoff for me personally. I get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
But I also see that those that we do work with also enjoy it and get a lot out of it themselves.
Yep. Yeah, quite obviously. We'll have a fantastic day, Colin. Thanks for speaking with us. If you want to be involved with the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group, just Google that thing, and there's plenty of links there. And
There's a membership form there. They can fill that in and start to come along to our general meetings.
yeah, and I'd imagine that it's based on your level of commitment is what you can put in at any given time.
That's right. Yep.
Great. Colin, thanks for speaking with us. Have a great day. And we're here at the Murray Valley Sanctuary Refugee Group 15-year celebrations.